Hello, my name is Ana Doak and welcome to Nanay Anay. Anyway, so today's video, I got my husband here again with me.
Hello.
Well, today's video, we are going to share to you guys about things you need to know before moving to the Philippines. So there's gonna be two parts in this series because it's really like there's so many things to talk about. My name is Ana.
My name is Alexander.
Yep, and we live here in the Philippines for 15 years. No, for 7 years. And then we live in the US for 8 years together, of course. So we've been married for 15 years and we have 10 children. So you heard that right, we have 10 children. So if you want to know more about our channel, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll get updated of our videos here in Nanay Anay. So if you want to know more about our family, guys, hit the subscribe button. Anyway, so let's proceed. Okay, so things to know before moving to the Philippines. Okay, number one. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be harsh. You are a walking dollar.
Oh boy.
So, the thing there is, if you are an expat, the moment you step on the airport, people will be looking at you like you are really rich. Like, because of the poverty here in the Philippines, and because of what we've seen in most movies.
Yeah, the perception.
Yeah, the perception of each Filipino is that Americans or expats are immediately rich.
Foreigners, yeah.
Yeah, foreigners are immediately rich.
Especially people who don't look like them. Like especially people who they might see on TV or in the movies, right? They assume that somebody with that similar, complexion or cultural appearance has a lot of money.
How do you say? Because you are that, because people here perceive you to be that rich. So there's gonna be an expectation.
They'll treat you differently.
Oh yeah?
And they'll charge you more.
Oh yes, yes. So like when you get on a taxi, just be careful that your meter will be really like running accordingly, and if it's not running, or if it's like running really fast, get out the taxi and then find another driver. It's that simple. But anyway, so yeah, number 2 on our list, Philippines have below average hospitals in general.
An average is relative. I mean, compared to the US.
Yes, compared to the first world country. So if you are an expat who's planning on retiring in the Philippines and you have a lot of health issues, then you have to think ahead of time that you might need to move to the part of a country where there's really like a Western-like hospitals, like in BGC. There's a St. Luke in BGC, or there's also Makati Med. So you have to specifically pick a place if you have health issues, But if you are fine, like my husband, you can go anywhere in the Philippines. Please also be reminded that your insurance from your country might not be covered here in any hospitals here in the Philippines. And also, medication is not readily available. But the point there is, this is for expats who wanted to move to the Philippines, medication is not readily available.
But when it is available, it's very affordable, right?
Yeah.
The cost of all healthcare here is very low. Usually, what you have to pay in full for any medical service is going to be cheaper than the deductible in the US, for example. Yeah,
like back then, we were able to help an American friend from the hospital. We paid for his hospital bill, but it was only like 100,000, so that's like $2,000 for almost like 2 weeks stay at this like really nice hospital here in San Francisco. But if you go to
the best hospital here locally,
but like if you go to BGC, like you would also expect to be, because it's like a Western-like hospital, you would also be expected to pay like a Westerners. So anyway, so number 3. We discussed this already before, but here in the Philippines, punctuality is late. Like in not just like people not showing up on time, like in almost everything. Like if you go to a checkout, if you go grocery shopping, prepare to be in a checkout aisle for like forever and ever. And also like if you're doing some paperwork, you know, like if you go to the bank, you know, just be prepared that everything here is so laid back and very, you know.
It might happen later, it might not happen at all. And you really can't hold it against the person who's late or who's absent, because it's just normal. You won't get any cultural, social support. You know, if you express frustration about somebody being late or missing a meeting, you know, people here won't empathize with you. You know, you just need to relax and try again and build into your schedules a lot of grace to allow for those missed appointments and things like that.
Just be prepared that there's really a different pace of life over here. Yeah. So, Number 4.
You'll get by with speaking English, because a lot of people here know a little bit of English. They might be hesitant to speak it because they're embarrassed, but almost all of the stores will be able to communicate with you in English.
Like English is basically the second language of, you know, the Philippines.
For a while it was required learning in the schools here. Like they changed the laws, but for a while it was like required, you have to learn English, and then it was like, well, no, it's optional, so they kind of go back and forth.
There's a different, you know, dynamics now, but anyway, but Philippines is the 4th largest speaking country in the world. So you can really, like, you know, go around places. They might have really basic English, but the point there is like, you know, like compare if you go to Thailand or Vietnam, it's so hard because it's so rare to find someone who could really speak even the basic English. But over here, you know, like you go to the market, how much is this one? They will give you the price, you know, like just really like basic yes, no, or like, how are you? Like, then, you know, what's your name? You know, at least someone could actually communicate to you. So,
having said that, you don't want to try to avoid using the local language. I highly recommend you learn it, you know, when you're over here.
Yes.
Because there's like Tagoglish. The locals... Taglish, I don't know how you say it.
Or Ingbi. English Bisaya.
And the locals here just very gracefully incorporate, you know, English into their own conversation. So it's very natural to just kind of go back and forth between Tagalog and English. Even though, you know, the languages aren't all that similar, but it's very liberal. You know, nobody's going to look funny at you for saying half a sentence in Tagalog and then finishing the rest in English. You know, at least you gave it a shot. So try to learn at least 1 or 2 new words every day and keep on building on that. They'll really appreciate it. The locals will they'll definitely laugh at you
because of your accent,
because of the way you're saying those words. So they really enjoy it. It's a great way to make friends.
Yes. You know, but the locals would really appreciate if you take that effort, because you know, they will laugh at you, but that doesn't mean that they're insulting you.
They're laughing with you.
Oh yes, there you go. Yes. Number 5. Respect and politeness. So here in the Philippines, the usage of the words sir and ma'am is really, really common. Like you will hear that wherever you go. You know, from vendors to offices to banks to stores, like everywhere. When people would address you, they would always use the words sir and ma'am all the time. And like for me, I don't like being addressed as ma'am, so I would really like tell them, just call me Ana.
Is it safe to refer to other people as sir and ma'am in general?
Yep, you can also do that.
Unless they're a doctor? Then you better call them doctor.
Doctor or attorney or whatever. But
they like the titles, and they're
they have a very, you know, high expectation or high thing
respect and social status. There's a hierarchy.
And also another thing that you would notice is a lot of people here would be calling kuya and ate. Kuya for male and ate for female. That's how you address when someone you're talking to is older than you, much older than you.
I misuse that all the time. I call every guy outside
ate kuya.
I do that, and like they're like, look at me weird. I'm like,
Yeah, but that's fine, you know. You can get away with that, you
You're
know.
clearly older than me. Why are you calling me Kuya?
Yeah, but you can always get away with that.
Better.
Yeah. But again, you can always get away with that, you know. It's fine. Like I call my little brother Kuya. That's fine. But another thing, like in the Philippines, I mean in the US, you only call your, you know, the brother or the sister of your parents aunt and uncle. But over here, even if you're not related to them by blood, you can always call them auntie and uncle. Very common. So yeah, so instead of calling, you know, ate kuya, you can also say uncle, auntie. Okay. But again, you have that accent, uncle, ate, auntie, instead of uncle and aunt. But anyway, so yeah, so that's it. Next, number 6. I like this story. There's a story with this. Number 6.
What does that say?
Volcanoes and
earthquakes.
Earthquakes.
Well, earthquakes, yes. Volcanoes, not so much. I mean, you got to be in a weird place to be disrupted by a volcano.
But there's 24 active volcanoes in the Philippines. Okay? Actually, that Magdiwata that we are very close, that's actually a dormant volcano. That's a volcano. But that's dormant.
Keyword being dormant. Yes.
Yes. But the earthquake! Okay, the earthquake.
Oh, very common, very common.
Yes.
Very fun. Well, maybe the first one isn't fun. There's a little window where it's really fun. Not the first one, not the second one. Starts getting fun with the third. And then it's really fun for like from 3 to 10. You know, it's like really fun. Then it starts to get just boring.
Oh my god, like it's common. Like I remember the first time we moved here and I was Alex's first time to experience earthquake. Oh my goodness, and it was just like earthquake! Like you know, it was like screaming, you know, it was screaming, and then at that time we have workers and they were just like, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah.
You know? And
well, 30 plus years of existence, never once experienced that, and then all of a sudden it's like the whole world moves.
And then I remember like there was like a severe, like one of the most severe earthquake I've ever had. It was like October of 2016. No, September of 2016. And then the whole house was really like, it was really like a really bad earthquake.
Stuff dropped off the shelves. I
yes.
remember that, yeah.
And it was like, I think it was like a magnitude of 6.8 or 6.2, maybe 6.2.
But it was somewhat away from us.
Yeah, it was like
we were not at the epicenter.
Yeah, but the epicenter is like only 2 hours from us.
2 hours away.
Yeah, and then, but the children were just like laughing and they were just like moving around, earthquake, you know. So, but anyway, like yeah, just
now, we live in a building that's steel reinforced walls, right? The locals do know how to build for the earthquake environment. They know how to put foundations in. You just have to be willing to spend the money to build that way.
Yes.
And praise God, the home we're in was built that way, right? So we don't have any concrete above us. It's all just wood. And light, steel roof. And then the walls are real nice concrete, and we have thick pylons and everything. So you see cracks,
but not a whole lot compared to other houses, Ty.
Yeah.
Yeah, other houses have really big cracks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, ours is not. Yeah, this house is really built, with the earthquake being earthquake proof. It's good. Yeah, so yeah, just be mindful about that. Like there are also places here in the Philippines that have active volcanoes, like the Taal. Like I think it erupted 2000 and 2021. So that was like really bad. There's also the Mayon volcano. The Pinatubo. So again, if you wanna decide to move here, ask your girlfriend or your fiance where you're living and if there's any volcano there. But the earthquake, it's all over the country. Philippines lies on a seismic belt, so you would really like experience earthquake. So yeah, number 7.
No tipping. Culturally speaking, the people here just don't tip.
Yeah.
Not at restaurants, not anywhere else. Just you don't tip. There are beggars that'll do stuff for you, and then they give those people money. So that's like a different dynamic. Westerners, I think, are less likely, perhaps, I don't know, to give beggars money, or at least it's maybe if you live in the right city in the U.S., you have more exposure to people who are begging. I grew up without getting much exposure to full-time beggars, but over here they're very, very common, and you'll see them, and especially children will beg for money. And it's common for foreigners who are visiting to give them money, but the locals, I think, also sometimes give them money, but not as much. They target, you know, foreigners when they're begging.
Tourists.
Tourists, yep.
Yeah.
But this is about
tipping.
Tipping. So with tipping, I still tip.
Yeah,
I still tip for certain things. In restaurants, not so much.
I do.
You do. Okay. We do. Well, I certainly tip any delivery guys.
Yeah.
If somebody's going to come to my house and make sure I get the package I ordered, I'm giving that guy something extra.
Yes.
I just like everybody to, you know, go out of their way to make sure I get my stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can just throw them, you know, just throw them some pesos every time they come by, and it doesn't hurt, you know.
Yes.
And it's usually nothing compared to the cost of what the shipment, just the shipping and handling was originally. So I think it makes sense. Yeah,
like before I moved to the US, I was not exposed to the, you know, the giving tips to at the restaurant. Like whatever your bill, that's just the amount you have to pay. And then when I first met Alex, we went to a restaurant and Alex was leaving 250 pesos tip at the table, but it was at TGI Fridays, you know, and I was like, why is he giving tip? I was about to grab the money. I was about to grab the money. And then Alex said, oh no, leave that for tip. And in my mind, I was like, 250 pesos for tip. And I was like, wow, oh, that was like so insane. And then I moved to the US. And then when I moved to the US, oh my word, it was really like a culture thing. Everybody is, if you go to a restaurant.
The laws, I think.
Oh yes,
the laws are like, they can pay the waiters and waitresses less because they expect them to get tips.
Tips, yeah. And then and then in the US, like if there's a party of 10, then there's really like a percentage that you have to, certain percentage that you have to give. You know, it's over like, you know, at the table. But
gratuity.
Yeah, like that, something like that. But over here, yeah, people here do not tip. But the thing there, I learned about the tipping that, yeah, it's true. Like, you know, like what Alex said, if there's a driver that would deliver to our house, if we give them 20 pesos tip, usually at the warehouse, whenever they get a shipment, if they will see our name, Alexander or Ana Doak, they will be more likely to grab our stuff because they know we give tips.
Yeah, we'll fight over our stuff.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna go deliver that right away.
So we always get our package like on time. I mean, not always, like most of the time, you know, we get. And also at the restaurants here, I give tip because whenever we sit down at the restaurant, we always get a good service because they know that, you know, besides that, of course, they love us, they love our family. I think so.
Yeah, but just like restaurants and companies, well, especially in the US, maybe not so much over here, but they like to go above and beyond, and they like to give their customers exceptional service and exceed expectations, right? Well, as a customer, I like to exceed the expectations of the people at the companies I frequent, right? Especially the restaurants and things like that. Because then they remember you, and then they're, you know, nicer to you, and you get special treatment and stuff if you treat them nice, right? So they reciprocate more often.
Yep, that's true. And yeah, I just really like that, you know, that tipping, you know, I like it. I really like it. And then the waiter, if you give them the tip, oh, they will be so happy over here. Like extremely, extremely happy because they were not expecting that. You know, imagine if they're only getting paid minimum wage, 305 pesos, so that's $6 a day. And then you give them an extra, 100 pesos. So that's like, oh my goodness, 325 plus your 100 pesos, so they're coming home with
30% increase in your daily take home.
Yep, they will be so happy. Number 8, bring toilet paper to go out. So if ever you go, there's no toilet paper in most bathrooms here. So if you want to use the bath, if you want to use the toilet, you will be expected to use that scooper in a bucket, and it's kind of gross.
Very rare that you'll find toilet paper in a bathroom. Very rare.
So,
and if you do, you're not allowed to flush it down the toilet.
You have to put it in a garbage can sitting next to the toilet.
Almost everything has a septic system here, and they get clogged up and things like that. So,
So bring a toilet paper.
Toilet paper, yes.
Yes. So number 9, you need to know Philippines is a visa-free country, but only up to 20 days. So if you are a foreigner who just wanted to visit the Philippines, you know, you don't need a visa to enter the jurisdiction of the Philippines. But if you wanted to stay longer, then you can go to the immigration to extend your stay. And then you can also get immediately a tourist visa, and that will let you stay here for 3 months. You know, or it depends. Actually, it really depends. There's like different categories.
Yeah, categories.
Category. There's different categories, you know, for whatever you pick with the type of visa that you want to get. But again, it's a visa-free country if you're only planning on staying here for 20 days. Number 10. Before you move to the Philippines, you wanted to communicate to expats who live in the country before moving here.
Yeah, it's always nice to have feet on the ground before you get there. So you can talk to somebody who's lived there and has experience, like specifically with the hyper-local area you're moving to.
Yeah.
Because somebody who lives in Manila is going to have a very different set of experiences and expectations compared to Cebu or compared to Davao or compared to some rural place.
Yes.
Radically different.
Yes.
It's a small country, but there's huge differences in locale.
And that's because the Philippines has 7,100 islands, and
is that another topic?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying. And that's because each country will have a different, each place will have a different experience. So, but the point there is like, because of social media nowadays, you know, it's before you move here, you know, start exploring or start researching for a community of expats that live on a specific place. Like what Alex said, an expat who live in Manila will have a different experience living in a rural area like our place, San Francisco. So you have to, you know, start doing that steps, take that steps, you know, communicating to expats.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
And then the thing there is, I specifically said they're expats because again, you're communicating to a person who might have the same experience or who will have the same expectation as you are. Because if you communicate to a Filipina, well then that's a different. There will be a different.
They won't have the same cultural expectations that you do. So you can't ask a Filipina questions about. Like example, Western living.
Yes, like example, the hospitals, you know.
Yeah.
For that Filipina, like if I was not exposed to the US, I would think San Francisco Doc would be like, wow, like really good hospital. Like
but it's nothing compared to hospitals in the US.
Yes. Like so. in the place I grew up, my hometown, we have like a really good hospital. I thought at that time, but when I went to the US, my word, hospitals here are like checking in at a 5-star hotel. Like that's like equivalent
in the US.
In the US, you know, when I moved to the US. When I first visited my friend who gave birth at the hospital, I was just like, whoa, this is like so cool. Like it's really like a 5-star experience, you know, like checking in at a hotel. They have their own bathroom inside the room, you know, like I was like, whoa. And then you don't share a room.
Yeah.
You know, here in the Philippines, you will be sharing a room.
Americans love being sick. They love that treatment. When you're sick, you are a special class when you're sick. So
again, that's the thing, you know, like communication, you know, you start communicating with an expat, with social media. Again, you can always find a community, a group, you know, and you can start building your community even before moving here. Yeah, so that's it. So that's part 1. That's the end of our part 1. So watch out for part 2, guys. Yeah, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and then hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll get updated of Nanay and I. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.